An AI voice assistant is a software application that uses artificial intelligence to understand and respond to human speech in real time. So you can have a telephone call with it using a standard telephone line, or you can talk to it over a web page which supports WebRTC. I've made previous videos about the benefits of an AI voice assistant, so I'm not going to cover that in too much detail today, but what we're going to do is cover some of the most important aspects, the most important elements, which when incorporated correctly into the system will provide a much better experience for your customers. The goal really for the AI voice assistant is running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It really has to be as close to talking to an intelligent, competent person as possible. It's just a simple voice assistant that does FAQ, answers questions on some of HostCom's services.
Hi, I'm Millie, a demonstration AI agent for HostCom. How are you today?
Yes, I'm very well, thanks. Can you tell me a bit about the AI customer service agent?
Our AI contact center autonomously handles emails, chats, and voice calls, providing real-time insights on customer satisfaction. It can be trained using your existing data. Interested in a demo? Please share your email
perhaps
address.
You could just tell me a bit more about the remote visual assistant service as well.
Sure. Remote Visual Assistance allows you to provide inspections and surveys remotely through smartphones using live video, enhanced with guidance and data capture tools.
You get the gist there, so let's finish off. Two other important elements to think of when you're setting up your voice assistant are speech to text and text to speech. So text to speech takes text and turns it into a voice, and there are lots of different voices you could use. It's very important on a voice conversation with an AI assistant, as I mentioned earlier, to keep the latency down, so the time between utterances. Otherwise, the conversation really does start to fall apart quite quickly. Just think, in the olden days when you used to make an international call, sometimes there used to be a 2 or 3 second delay, and it was very difficult to have a sensible conversation with somebody. So the shorter the delay, the better. As you can see here, the range is quite high in terms of characters per second. So this is how many characters the model can produce per second, how many words it can produce per second. The quicker the better. So the same applies with speech to text. In the middle there, you'll see a graph which covers input audio seconds transcribed per second. So again, the quicker the better, and that's something else to take into account when you're putting a voice assistant together. So in summary, text to speech and speech to text, very important, especially with the third element, which is the large language model. So it's really keeping, going with the quickest that you possibly can for your budget. If you're interested in making outbound calls, we'd recommend using something like a dialer, predictive dialer. We've got one right here just to run through with you. So what you can do is you can go into set up a campaign, and there are quite a few settings. One of the most important things with using a dialer is to use it within the rules and regulations in the UK, for example, dictated by Ofcom. So Ofcom is the regulator in the UK, and if you're going to be making outbound calls to play messages, maybe generate leads, things like that, you've got to do it within these Ofcom regulations. Now, our dialer here, Contact Pro, allows you to set up a campaign, and you can then put your voice agent onto this campaign. It will then make some outbound calls, and when people answer, it will route them instantly through to the voice agent that'll then start talking to them. So this is all done using SIP. Predictive dialer trunks through to the voice agent using SIP. Okay, if you're going to be using it for inbound and outbound telephone calls. And these campaign settings allow you to automate a lot of the processes that need to be in place to ensure that you work within the regulations of outbound predictive dialer usage. One of the other features that a voice assistant needs is the ability to transfer the caller either to an internal extension or outside of the organisation, perhaps via a telephone number. And it will do this by understanding your intent. Can I speak to sales, or can I speak to a salesperson, or something that it's not able to handle itself, and then it will just hand off via a SIP trunk to this other destination. And you can do this in our case, you can do this via our cloud contact center. You could perhaps set up an in-group with some settings on it. Maybe it's color coded. and you would tell the voice assistant to route it through to an in-group, and some of the settings on the in-group will then determine where that call goes to. So it might just ring a whole team of people, so it's handing off to a sales team, or it might go to a specific person. So one of the most important elements of a voice assistant is its ability to pull in a function call and execute that. A function call is really a script, sometimes written in Python, very often written in Python or JavaScript, and it's really a bit like a tool. So in this case here, we've got a Python script which will raise a ticket with fresh service. So if the voice assistant determines that the only course of action really is to raise a ticket because perhaps it needs a site visit, it'll suggest that to the caller, or the caller can even request that. And the voice assistant knows how to do that by executing this function call. Function calls can do a whole almost infinite variety of tasks, like calling APIs, going to a database. The scripts can get quite complicated, and obviously need to be very secure as well. Function calls and scripting and coding is often where some platforms reach a dead end. We'd advise that whichever voice assistant platform you choose, function calling and the ability to script and code is there. Otherwise, the service could be quite restrictive, because there's always something that crops up. This is the new OpenAI real-time voice interface. We're using the web browser here to demonstrate that. It's fairly new, so we're just working through some testing at the moment before we start to use it as part of our service. But you can get an idea of what it's like.
Hey, how's it going today?
Yeah.
What's on your...
Very well, thanks. How's it going with you?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. What's on your mind today?
I just want to try and find out what sort of things you can help me with.
Fantastic. I can help with a whole bunch of things. Need information on a topic? Check. Want help with...
What about weather? Can you do weather in the UK?
Absolutely, I can help with that. Do you have a specific location in the UK in mind?
Yeah, what about London?
Great. Let's get the current weather for London.
Don't worry about the weather in London.
All right, if there's anything else I can help you with, just let me know.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, je parle français. Comment puis-je vous...
Comment t'appelles-tu?
Je m'appelle Manon. Et vous?
Je suis Chris.
Enchanté, Chris. Comment puis-je vous aider aujourd'hui?
Deutsche, wie heißt du?
Ich heiße Mira. Wie kann ich Ihnen heute helfen?
Ich heiße Chris.
Freut mich, Chris. Wie kann ich Ihnen behilflich sein?
Oh, very good. Let's switch back to English, shall we?
Sure thing, Chris. What would you like to talk about next?
Do you speak Chinese by any chance?
Yes, I do. 你想聊些什么?
Oh, and what about, let's have a think. What about Thai? Do you speak Thai?
Yes, I can speak Thai. คุณอยากพูด
Sawadee ka?
สวัสดีค่ะ ยินดีที่ได้รู้จักค่ะ Hello, nice to meet you.
Very good, very good. What you can see here really is one of the good things really is the ability to switch to different languages. I'm not fluent in any of these, as you can tell, but the latency is very good. It responds very, very quickly, and its conversation handling is also very good as well. So it can handle over-talking, interruptions very, very slickly. One of the most time-consuming parts of setting up a voice assistant is the formation of a knowledge base or training data which the agent or assistant can use. The knowledge base can be comprised of documents like PDFs, it could be a web scrape, it could be historical email interactions from customer service. We have a tool at Hostcom that can take an email inbox batch file, an export, and basically just turn that into the correct format, split it out into question and answer type pairs and threads. It can do all of this in minutes, so it can take tens of thousands of emails, reformat them into Q&A pairs and threads, and insert that into a voice assistant to be used to start answering questions straight away. But if you don't have emails to use, you can just import, large documents, manuals, terms and conditions, that sort of thing, straight into the voice assistant. So that's everything I wanted to go through today. There are 8 or so really important things to consider when adding a voice assistant on the end of a telephone line in your organization. So I hope that's been of benefit. So if you're interested in maybe replacing your IVR with a voice assistant, just reach out to us at sales@hostcom.co.uk or visit our website at www.hostcom.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching.